Exquisite Timepieces is honored to hold the prestigious title of Authorized Grand Seiko Dealer. And with the brand becoming increasingly popular in recent years, it's becoming harder to find a Grand Seiko nobody else has on their wrist. However, I've recently dived deep into our vault of Grand Seiko stock, and I uncovered a low production, limited edition, factory new, 18 karat rose gold spring drive model with fine details so unbelievably honed, I had to bring it back into the light after 3 years of display case slumber. Hi, I'm Matt from Exquisite Timepieces, and today I have the privilege to present to you the Grand Seiko SLGA008. It's a 140th anniversary model with only 140 pieces existing on planet Earth. Throughout the course of this video, I'll discuss the watch architecture, the watch finishing, the movement. At the end of the video, I'll take to the stand to defend my case as to why I think this $49,000 watch is worth every penny of its controversial price. It's not every day you see a Grand Seiko in the wild, but it's even rare to see a Grand Seiko made out of a precious metal. As I said in the intro, the SLGA008's case is entirely made of 18 karat rose gold. The special dial notation above the 6 o'clock marker indicates that a variety of parts of this watch are solid gold. These parts include all indices, the GS applied logo, the date frame, and the strap's clasp. Grand Seiko didn't just make up this marking for this watch. It's actually a tradition they've been doing since the 1960s to denote solid gold parts in their watches. Let's review the specs before I get too far into the details. We have a 40mm case size, which hits a nice middle ground for this watch. It's not so big where it appears sporty. However, its wrist presence is sizable enough to allow it to style properly without a suit or tie or champagne. An 11.8mm case thickness and a 47.6mm case length. And it's worth noting that the case on this watch is cut in such a way by the lugs that it sort of contours to the shape around the wrist. Doing this makes it appear flatter and thinner on wrist, which is a notable refinement of the watch's architecture. A 22mm lug with drilled lugs should you wish to change the dark brown crocodile strap. It comes with anti-reflective sapphire crystal and case back. It also has a more than adequate 100 meters of water resistance. I don't imagine the potential customer for this watch will take it diving, but should you wish to swim, snorkel, or surfboard with your $49,000 Grand Seiko, water damage will not be a problem. The crown is also not screwed down, allowing quick access to winding and setting functions. But specs alone just don't illustrate how refined this watch really is, which is why I need to talk to you about the fit and the finish. Take a moment to really analyze this watch. Something about this watch feels dramatically different than any other watch in the catalog. What is it exactly? The rose gold and the chocolate brown color combination seems to radiate in person. If I were to compare it to something, it'd be like an incandescent bulb glowing in a log cabin. It's a warm tone piece, and the dial visually communicates in a way that's organic. Grand Seiko describes the dial as the tree rings pattern. If we get up close, you can see the pattern cascading with texture becoming grooved in the deeper channels of the wood grain. Each light type and angle offers a completely different perspective on this watch. The thick-cut solid gold indices are classical in shape, but polish and texturing brings this watch to the modern-day complexity you'd expect from Grand Seiko. The bulky hour hand has a grooved burrow into it, creating a straight line with the indices as it hits each hour. The rose gold case has the same thoughtfulness as the watch face too. A brush grain ring frames the watch, followed by a distortion-free Zaratsu polishing as the case angles down. Same deal with the side of the case. Brush flat surface on the side, but mirror finish at the concaves on the top and bottom. Proportions, placement, finishing, it's all thoughtfully executed on this watch. Not a single millimeter of it was not considered. The second hand sweep is dead silent. No ticking, but slowly and smoothly navigating the circumference of the watch, giving it the faintest indication of life. Let's talk about movements. The 9R85 movement was released in 2020 and marked a huge evolutionary step in Grand Seikos spring drive design. As Grand Seikos in-house movement that reinvented the entire concept of mainspring wound watches, this advancement was a pretty big deal for Japanese watchmaking as a whole. When the SLGA008 was released in 2021, Grand Seiko took the power reserve indicator and moved it to the watch movement, viewable through the exhibition caseback in order to free up dial real estate in the name of elegance. It was named the 9R82 with a plus or minus 10 seconds a month of accuracy, 38 joules, and 5 days or 120 hours of power reserve. The movement is decorated with Shinshu frost finishing, giving the metal a white frozen look with Zaratsu mirror polishing framing all the little edges on this watch. Besides some part reworking to become thinner than the previous generation, this new model came with an improved, vacuum-sealed, 3-month aged quartz oscillator, as well as an improved sensor package to ensure that this watch would not fluctuate accuracy with even the slightest change in temperature, humidity, static electricity, or light. Ladies and gentlemen, order in the court. I, Matt from Exquisite Timepieces, am guilty of believing that this watch's $49,000 price tag is fair and reasonable for this watch. Here is my case. The biggest claim against this watch is the fact that 18-karat rose gold watches can be had for much less than this watch. Swiss counterparts for around half the price compete in the rose gold category, but it's important to remember Grand Seiko does not use materials frivolously. This metal was chosen specifically to complement the brown dial on this watch. And at that, how many watches can you think of off the cuff with the brown dial? Not many. And how many brown dials are executed so meticulously as this SLGA008 with texture, depth, light play, and viewing angle at top priority? This is not simply a brown dial version of a watch, but a watch where the brown dial, it can very well be the most convincing choice. Same concept with the rose gold. It's not just an 18-karat rose gold case. It's an 18-karat rose gold case finished by Grand Seiko. That's worth something. It has undeniable appeal to any enthusiast taste profile, and that's hard to do with unconventional metals and colors. Exclusivity is another big factor that plays into the value of this watch. Grand Seiko is gaining popularity fast as it garners more and more respect from members of the horology industry and enthusiasts alike. The SLGA008 is a 1 of 140 piece, a dramatically low production number, and an even number anniversary piece no less. Being a watch from 2021 that went to Grand Seiko boutiques and a handful of authorized dealers, these watches aren't for sale often, and even rare to find factory new. As Grand Seiko grows in reputation and innovation and climbs to join the pantheon of modern watchmaking, this watch is a time capsule, a moment between modern watchmaking of the future and classical designs of the past. It's my opinion that age will only treat this watch kinder. It represents the highest accessible level of Japanese luxury outside of weightless, upper management phone calls, and hushed conversations of single-digit production models behind closed doors of Tokyo's most affluent neighborhoods. You can go to exquisitetimepieces.com right now, and with the click of a button, you can get this watch shipped straight to your door. And hurry, before my credit score gets too good to finance this thing. I'm Matt from Exquisite Timepieces. Thank you for your time.